though.
She's cute.
So
we're talking about Megan Thee Stallion.
Hey!
She's cute.
She is cute. And so is who she cosplays.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about before we turn We go all over the place when we chat. We go all over the place.
Yeah. But it's so funny because, like, I have been on an anime kick lately, so.
I know you have.
I had to catch up, and I'm catching up on My Hero, which is like, I've already read past in the manga of where the show is at, so I know what's going to happen, but I love seeing the animation of it. Yeah. So, but I was just telling Kara that I just finished JJK and fully caught up and about cried like a little bitch. But what they did, like I literally was, oh my God, I was tearing up. Because like I was cooking dinner and I had my phone up and I was like watching while I was cooking dinner and it's just like, they kill a lot of people left and right. And I was like, like one of my favorite characters was like Gojo. But like, we haven't caught up, so sorry. Spoilers here. Fucking Nanami.
So
Nanami.
So sparry?
So sorry. So
sorry, spoilers. So sparry is
sorry.
Sorry for spoilers.
Yeah, they just fucking offed Nanami. And I had to pause it, and I was just crying. Because I fucking love Nanami. Oh my God. You've probably seen it on TikTok. There's this thing where he's in a battle. I don't know if you have any anime things kind of pop up.
I was like, it's never on my feed.
There is a let me just show you because everyone on my feed was like drool.
Okay.
Of what he did to this other character that he was fighting.
Oh.
Let me tell you.
Pray tell.
It's hot.
Pray tell.
Here we go. I wonder if this is it.
Oh, look at
that scene!
Somebody put me in a ponytail. Are they gonna kiss?
No.
I thought for a second he was gonna kiss.
I know! No, he just fucking boom! Oh, it's so good. That happened though when he grabbed
up the blood.
Yes. When he grabbed his hair and lifted up, everybody on fucking TikTok was like, Daddy. And even at like anime conventions, they would dress up, they'd find Nanami cosplayers and they'd dress up and hold their hair so they could take a photo.
Take me. I'll just put my hair in a ponytail later and ask Chris to just drag my ass around.
Drag it.
Just drag me around.
So fucking good, dude.
Alright, that's Kara.
Wait!
No, I'm messing up.
I was like, no!
Okay, we're starting here. That's Chris. And we're the
I'm moving that in.
Damn it! I always get you to mess it up. I never mess myself up. We are going to review Woom, WOOM, because it sounds like womb, but it's Woom, like room with a W. And then a little bit of Gross Out, because I don't think you read it, but I did. Both by Duncan Ralston. Mm-hmm. He will also be at the HorrorCon, I believe. So we were
He's on the list.
I think even before we saw the list, you suggested Woom.
Oh, yeah, because I found it on Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, fuck it, let's read it. It had some good ratings. And after I read it, I was like, you gotta fucking read this. That was, what the fuck did I just read? It was great.
That was a what the fuck did I just read. So, like, the description for Woom on Goodreads says, warning, this book contains graphic violence and sexuality most readers will find offensive. Uh-huh. I believe pain lingers, Angel said. Do I believe in spirits? In the supernatural? Probably not. The Lonely Motel holds many dark secrets, and room 6 just might possess the worst of them all. Angel knows all about pain. His mother died in this room. He's researched its history. Today, he's come back to end it, no matter the cost, once and for all. Shayla, a plus-size prostitute, thinks the story Angel tells her can't be true. Secrets so vile you won't want to let them inside you. But the Lonely Motel doesn't forget, it doesn't forgive, and it always claims its victim. So, yeah, Christina suggested this, and I was like, okay. Well, like, I hadn't heard of it, but, like, it looks good.
Yeah.
Disgusting. All right.
Yeah.
And after, what was the Nick Cutter book? Was that Nick Cutter?
Parasite?
Yes. After, like, that
The Troop?
Yeah, I was like, okay, like, you can get, like, worse than The Troop.
I feel like
it's worse in a different way. Like, they're very different books, but I was like, I can't really, like, be more disgusted.
I think it's because we have the anatomy, so we can be like, that doesn't go there.
Yeah. And, like, reading this, I was, like, very disgusted. However, I will say, I was surprised by, like, the writing style and the flow. It was really well written. Good. You kind of were like, I need to know the next story.
Yes.
Where are these stories going? Because the book is full of these individual stories that Angel tells Shayla, the prostitute. He, like, gets her into room 6, right? And he's like, my mom died here. All these fucking terrible things happened. She tried to, like, schmort me with a coat hanger. Like, so much has happened in this room that you're almost like, what's wrong with this room?
Yeah.
And so the whole time I'm thinking, like, the room is, like, possessed or is holding, like, some sort of, like, negative energy. It's not.
It's definitely
it's not. It is an extreme horror novel. And, I mean, when Duncan puts that there, he's not kidding.
No.
Like, it's not there for shits and giggles. No. The trigger warnings are not there for shits and giggles. They're there to be fucking serious.
Yep. It was definitely something.
I mean...
like, having to think back on it, because it's been a while since I've read it, having to think back on it, I'm like, oh.
It's almost like one of those, like, B-budget horror movies that we love, but they're, like, so fucked up that you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That is the vibe I got from this book, which was, I've never read anything like it. Like, I've never read anything like it. Like, the individual stories were each so fucked up that I was like, where are you going with this, Duncan?
Yeah, because I love where you tell the story, and then it jumps back into, like, them in the present day in the room. And then he's getting Shayla to kind of, like, do certain things.
But nothing, like, that she doesn't want to do.
Yeah,
but,
she
like,
said that, like, I will stop you, like, yes, time is money, things, shit like that.
Yes.
Like, you can keep going on, whatever you want to do, honey.
But he just wants to, like, tell her these stories for now.
But, like, told her to bring, like, are you okay with stressing?
Size queen.
Yeah,
things like he wants her to, like, size up. So as he's, like, telling her these stories, she is, like, sizing herself up to take more. And the whole time you're kind of like...
And she's thinking, like, how big are you? You
know, like, dude.
What exactly your...
Or maybe you're just one of the guys who wants to, like, watch me size up and, like, talk to me. Like, I don't care. I'm making my money.
She said
dude, she was a chill AF prostitute. I'm just, like, if I'm a hire hooker, it's her.
Yeah.
She was like so down for just like smoking cigs on the bed, listening to these stories, and I was like, "What a chill bitch."
She's like, "Whatever." She's like, "Are you gonna walk around with a diaper? Like, what do you want?"
What do you want? Yeah, like I've seen some weird shit, and like this ain't it, girl. It was it. It was it. So like I was truly disturbed reading this.
Yeah.
Psychological aspect was a bit more like fuckery for me than like the physical.
Oh,
like the physical aspect was one thing at the end.
Yeah.
But the psychological, how he like told the stories to get her to do that was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like uncomfortable with that, which he does a good job of it, but I would read one of the stories and be like, I can't go further, but then I would just like continue because I'd be like, well, where is this going? Somebody tell me.
But I think that's also like an us thing too. It's like some people would read that first one and be like, okay, no, I'm gonna DNF, I'm gonna put it down.
We don't DNF.
No, but we're like, what's next? Though?
Yeah, like, but what?
I mean,
is this gonna get worse? Yeah, like pause. Let me absorb
that
really traumatic story. I mean, like. You know, like drug abuse, dead babies, sex workers, like racism, abortion, drug mules. Remember that story? That one was a good one.
Yes, with all the coke bags up in her brand.
Male mutation. Like there's a lot of TWs in this. But it is, about this room and everything that's happened in room number 6, and it is just absolutely wild.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ruin like the way that they end it, because that was the most shocking part of the entire fucking book.
Just think about how you're a grown ass man and you want to be.
He wants to be reborn.
Reborn in a physical manner, and then think about what we were saying about a size queen.
Maybe put 2 and 2 together. Maybe your brain can't go there. Most people's can't until you read it.
I know, even for a man, they'd probably be crossing their legs.
Yeah, I was like,
I sure was. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is not something I would typically read, where it's almost like, it's just disturbing to be disturbing, and like maybe there is more to it, but like,
but still,
I felt like it was just a really horrifying, extreme
and I think
story.
I've seen it mentioned that this book, or like that room, is kind of like his Moby Dick.
Yes, the Lonely Motel books.
Yes,
because Gross Out is considered also from like the Lonely Motel books, I believe. And I guess we can segue into that, because there's not much we can really say about Woom without like ruining it.
Super, yeah.
And Gross Out, like, so it's a bunch of horrors going to a horror author con, so a bunch of authors at like a horror author convention, and like fans, right? Yeah. So like very fun, considering like we're gonna go do one.
Yeah.
And then they have a contest called like the Gross Out contest. It's who can write like the most disturbing, gross, horrifying story, and that's done at like the end of the convention. And it's Splatterfest convention, which is also fun. But this was like splatterpunk style of like a book. Like it was very
because it's like all of their stories put into one, right?
Like, yeah, like it was a bunch of different authors and like different people attending, and like in all their different POVs of like the con and all of their different intentions of what they have going on,
right?
But one of the authors runs across Angel and Shyla, and they invite him back to room 6 at the motel to give him some ideas for his Gross Out story. Because there's a lot of like revenge from the previous year. So it's interesting. Like,
I do need to read it.
Yeah, the Goodreads says revenge is on the program at this year's Splatterfest convention. Horror authors, critics, and fans from all over the world have gathered to share stories, enjoy each other's company, take part in the yearly Gross Out contest, a fan favorite. But some attendees have arrived with ulterior motives. Clay Caden, whose story at the last in-person Gross Out contest got him canceled, which was really gross, by the way. And so were the Gross Out story. Like the last one they told, I was like, why? Yeah, and he wants to tear down the convention from the inside. Moira Mead is desperate to impress her favorite horror director, who's promised an option to a story based on the weekend's readings. Former guest of honor mentor wants to find a muse again, no matter the cost. Like, there are so many like things going on with all these different characters. They're like, again, mini stories within the story, kind of how Woom was. But, like, each person has their own thing going on and their own ulterior motives.
Ooh.
So it features characters from Woom.
Okay,
it's not, like, a direct sequel, but, like, it does have the tie-in.
Okay.
Which was fun. It was fun to see that. This also is a very disturbing book. I would not say it's as disturbing as Woom, though.
That's what, like, when you were texting me about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it seemed like it was, and it's on my list. I need to read. I was just reading a different book at the time, and then we hopped into like books that we wanted to like read together.
Yes.
So, but it is on my list, and I do enjoy Duncan's writing style.
Yes,
and so I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy
getting into it.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't want to like say too much, but each person has their own ulterior motive, and you know, they're also like being distracted by the regular convention thing. One of my favorite pieces though was like the dude who runs the convention has been like microdosing himself with acid every day to kind of like get himself through the convention.
Yeah.
And then he decides like everybody's starting to freak out a bit. I should microdose everybody at the convention. But he didn't realize that like he'd been microdosing so long that his microdose was like more than a full dose that he put in water bottles. And so as like the gross out contest was popping off at the end, people are like, faces are melting. Faces are melting. So if you're like, okay, the contest is disgusting, well then the whole fact that people are tripping their balls off while it's going on makes it a little bit worse. It's depraved. He's a bit psychotic.
Especially at a fucking horror con, like
yeah. So it was good. I mean, it was fun. I wouldn't say it was like a 5 out of 5. I mean, I'd probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5. I'd give Woom like a 4.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's.
It's just they weren't my style, but they're very like horror splatter. Just like I'm here to make you feel icky.
Yeah.
And you did, sir.
You did. Because, I mean, that's the whole premise of, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's what we wanted. We asked for it. You gave it to us. But it was good. And I think I have another one on here that I want to read from Duncan as well.
I know. I have a few. Because, like,
yeah.
I do like his writing style.
I mean, he also is very much, like, gets to the point. I feel like he doesn't, like, fiddle around either, which I guess annoys me now that I'm like speaking about it. I guess it like really annoys me when you give me way too much backstory.
Yeah, dude.
Because then I'm like, just get to the point.
Because I only need to it needs to pertain to the story itself. Yes. I don't need to know about their family history if the plot itself has nothing to do with that.
Yes.
Unless like grandma had the fucking demon or something, you know, like.
I agree.
Going for it. Puzzle House. I have that one on my list.
I read it in a day.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because like that I have on my next. That could be like one of my next reads.
I was going to say, if you're going to read another book by Duncan, I would read Puzzle House.
Because reading.
It is my favorite of the 3 books I've read of his.
Okay, because reading like the synopsis of it, I was like, ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and we'll read it. I'll touch on it. Mm-hmm. 6 strangers arrive at the home of preeminent puzzle master Alexei Velasev for the reading of his will. Among them are the decedent's widow, who had already begun the divorce proceedings, a virologist troubled by action in his past, and a convicted murderer on day release. Like, he's been out of jail because, like, he can go for, like, the will reading. So he's out on day release. And then they've got, like, the sheriff with him. Mm-hmm. The potential beneficiary will split Velasev's $150 million fortune if they participate in his last great work. Sold.
Cool.
The choices: leave the house with nothing or continue in hope of solving the 6 interconnecting escape rooms within this house. I'm like, sold. Cool. I love escape rooms.
Yes.
This sounds great. Once there, the participants soon discover Puzzle House is far deadlier than it appears, and that making their way through the rooms may be a matter of life and death. Someone is watching their every move, toying with them, turning them against each other. With their lives on the line, they are forced to wonder, is it all a deadly game created by a gleeful sadist or something far more sinister? And it was fun. Now, like, the ratings on Goodread, I don't agree with all these, like, 3-star, 4 stars bullshit.
I think that's kind of, like, how we are for, like, oh my god, Rotten Tomatoes and shit. Like, when we're doing our movie reviews, because a lot of the times they'll have, like, low ratings, but we're like, we fucking loved this.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good. Like, it gave, like, it almost gave, like ghost house vibes. Maybe it was like escape room. Like it was just like every escape room starts like a normal escape room, right? Yeah. Like solve a puzzle, and then it turns very sinister. Ooh. Right? So then you're kind of like, whoa, I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was gonna happen. So like each room you walk into, you're kind of like, I mean, but when you're like 3 rooms in, you're like, okay, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
But 6 strangers, 6 puzzles, 6 ways to die, 666. But I really liked it. This again was my favorite book of his. I picked this shit up and I read it in a sitting. Like I did not.
I'm gonna read this after Bunker Dogs. So that's what I'm reading currently is Bunker Dogs by Gage Greenwood. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to read it.
You're gonna have to read it, and it's just I have thoughts.
Yeah,
it's a short one. Like I do agree with what they were saying on Goodreads that you're like short chapters, things like that.
Yes,
but yeah, I got more thoughts on that one. I don't know how I feel about it right now. Well, I mean,
you gotta finish it.
I have to
first.
finish it because right now how I'm feeling is very. But I'm like 80% done, so we'll see how it really pulls off in the end.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about Duncan. So I'm gonna read
I'm gonna need you to read Puzzle House next because that was my absolute favorite. Now I don't know why like all these like 1-star reviews are coming. This book is not scary or gory. I'm sorry. I thought like I wouldn't say it's like a horror book. Like I wouldn't say I was like scared reading it, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole time because I was like, what is gonna happen? Like what's going on? I don't know. I thought it was pretty fun. Puzzle master dies. You want the money? Go in and solve the puzzles. You might die, but go solve them puzzles. How bad do you want that money?
You got it.
How bad do you want that money? So it was fun. And then the ending, he took me for a big twist. And you know how much I love a nice little twisty twist. So I was like, woo! At the end.
A nice little twisty twist.
They're aware that like they're being watched. Like there's cameras. And so we kind of find out who that is at the end. And I was like, oh, okay. So I thought he did a good job. So Woom, Gross Out, Puzzle House by Duncan Ralston. Puzzle House, my favorite. Then Woom, then Gross Out.
Okay. I'll probably read that in order. I mean, I've already read Woom, but
yeah,
I'll read Puzzle House and then I'll read Gross Out. Because that one fucking chapter of Gross Out that you sent me about a goddamn turkey, like that's what really like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read it.
Dude. Okay, I totally forgot about the turkey scene and Gross Out. Okay, so I gotta talk about this.
Because like, that's why you sent me the screenshot. You're like, what the fuck?
Dude, I was laughing so hard I could not breathe, but I was also like disturbed about it. So a few of the authors and like podcast reviewers, you know, like critics, like all end up going to like a strip club. And they wanted to go for like rain night or something. Like they were like, "Where's our raincoats?" And they were like, "No, that's like next week. Like tonight's Thanksgiving night." And they're like, "What the fuck?" Okay, one, like, aren't they in Canada? Like, I don't even think that they're in the U.S. or like it's not Thanksgiving. Like, it's just not Thanksgiving. I know that for sure. And they're at a strip club and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" So, in this scene, this girl comes out and she's got like a turkey costume. And dude, the way Duncan writes this is like the vision. She's like flying across the stage. She's like jumping up onto the pole, like flapping her way down. Like she's full turkey costume stripping, right? And then a guy comes out. He brings out his little like food cart, you know, there's like stuffing and like turkey and like gravy on it, and he's got gloves on, and she comes over and he puts the stuffing up her hoo-ha, and then she like squirts it out.
That's how you get an STI. Then I say UTI.
Yeah, but it was for me like the leaping and like the flying is like a turkey on the pole. I'm like, girl, get it. You know, but I was in tears. Like that was one of the more disturbing portions of that book.
I'm tearing up.
And I loved it. I thought it was so funny. I'm a sick fuck.
Like, I love shit like that though. It's like, you know, it's like you're like, why?
I'm like, why did you do that? Don't know. I don't really care. It stuck with me.
But I think that's also like,
why he does it. Yeah, like
it's going to stick with
you. And I pushed that shit down. I forgot that happened until you were like the turkey. I was like, oh yeah.
Just like you said that you were crying, you were laughing so hard.
I was, dude.
And you sent me like the page of it, and I was laughing my ass off.
What the fuck does this say? And I'm like, I know. So it was great. Just be warned that, you know, reading Duncan's books, you may get a little bit of like a what's going on? Yeah, just like that.
And then it'll come right back out.
It was good though. Puzzle House, totally my favorite. And I'll for sure be getting another book from you, Duncan. Maybe I'll buy Puzzle House because I don't own any of your books.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll buy Puzzle House.
Oh yeah, I don't own any of his books either because I read that on Kindle.
Kindle, yep. But I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna support you. All right, we'll be back with maybe a movie or two and maybe a smut book. Maybe Credence, because we did not feel the way the rest of the world felt. We're going to come back with Credence.
I don't know why. It just feels good to do right now. I don't know why.
We are the Midnight Babes, and we will be back next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to see more from us, you can find us on Instagram at The Midnight Babes Podcast and on TikTok at The Midnight Babes. Stay spooky, friends.